Up next is Victor in Silver Spring, Maryland, on Open Line Friday. Hi, Victor.
Hi, Rush. Yesterday, I was listening to your show, and I heard you play the clip of, what's her name, Jackson Lee, saying that she's a free slave, Sheila Jackson Lee, and you were asking who the owner was. Well, I decided to call her office and ask that question, and I was very polite. I said, I really want to know who her owner is. I'm just curious. And the person said, are you some kind of a nut, and hung up on me.
No kidding?
No kidding.
It really hung up on you?
Yeah.
I've got the bite some here. I want to, if I can find it.
I probably wasn't the only one that called up, so, maybe I wasn't the first one or whatever. But, I'm really sick and tired of this slavery business, and when I have to jump in the conversation, I say, fine. If I want to play your game, then I'm going to start complaining about everything you sighted people have done to the blind over the years, but I don't play that game.
Well, I understand your frustration because we're not a slave state, but we're being portrayed as one. The left is acting like slavery is still alive and well, and that's what justifies Christopher Dorner, by the way, and his murderous spree. But liberal Democrats, I find they're really never concerned about real life slavery that exists today in other parts of the world. But boy, do they go to town on the pretend slavery that doesn't exist anymore. But there is real life slavery in Africa today and in Middle Eastern countries. And it's women who are largely comprised of slavery. And it's totally ignored. And the make-believe pretend slavery of the past to them is real. Now, thanks for the call, Victor. Here is audio soundbite number 24. This is Sheila Jackson Lee on the floor of the House on Wednesday morning.
We're at the bone almost. And sequester that is across the board cuts will literally destroy us and put us in a recession. I don't want to hear the fact that the president is divisive. The president is leading, and he has led well. The American people are listening. When are our friends on the other side of the aisle going to listen? I want to challenge this body to be the kind of Lincoln-esque attitude, as yesterday was the official birthday of President Lincoln, February 12th. And although it was a tragic time in our history, I can assure you that it showed the greatest promise of America when people could come together and do something great. I stand here as a freed slave because this Congress came together.
So Victor called her office because she said Wednesday that she was standing there on the floor of the House as a freed slave. And we were asking who owned her. We played the soundbite on Wednesday, and we wanted to know who her owner was. And we wanted to know how much he got for her. Was it a good deal when he sold her? Or did he just get rid of her? She might have outlived her usefulness on the plantation. I mean, never know. Child-rearing years are over, so maybe her value had plummeted. These are valid questions that we had. So Victor, loyal member of this large audience, called her office and said, who owned her? Who sold Congresswoman Lee? And they, what are you, insane? And hung up on him. A very, very mean thing to do. He was just reacting to something that he had heard her say. So they won't admit when you call her office who sold her. They won't admit who owned her. They won't admit any aspect of the deal that resulted in her freedom. But she did say she was free. She's not a slave anymore. She was, maybe that morning, that somebody sold her. I imagine Jamie Foxx brokered the deal somehow, probably rode in with a 6-shooter, Quentin Tarantino, and they took care of it. Maybe the owner doesn't want to be known, and they're covering it all up.